to make up my mind right now. I won't go. I'll tell Pa about it tonight.
Hey, George, I don't know why you have to decide that right now. It's a whole year away.
Emily, I'm glad you spoke to me about that flaw in my character. What you said was right. But there was one thing wrong in it. And that's where you said I wasn't noticing people. You, for instance. I mean, you said you was watching me while I did everything. I'm always doing the same about you all the time. I mean, well, sure, I always thought about you as one of the chief people that I thought about. I mean, I always made sure where you were sitting on the bleachers and who you were with. And for 3 days now, trying to walk you home, but something's always got in the way. I mean, yesterday I was over waiting by the wall for you, and you walked home with Miss Corcoran.
George, life's awful funny. How could I have known that? I thought that...
Emily, I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to agricultural school. I feel that once you found a person you're very fond of, I mean, who's fond of you too, and who likes you well enough to be interested in your character, well, that's just as important as school is, and even more so. That's what I think.
I think that's very important too.
Emily?
Yes, George?
If I do improve, if I make a big change, would you be, could you be...
I already am. I always have been.
Yes, this is a pretty important talk we've been having.
Yes. Yes.
Wait just a minute, I'll walk you home. Miss Morgan, I need to go home and get the money.
What's that, George? Why, George Gibbs, do you mean to tell me?
Yes, but Miss Morgan, I have my reasons. Look, here's my gold watch to keep until I come back.
Keep your watch, George. I'll trust you. I'll trust you 10 years, George. Not a day over.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Got all of your shopping, Lee?
Yes, thank you. It was nothing.
I'm ready.
Well, now we'll get on with the wedding. There are a lot of things to be said about a wedding. And there are a lot of thoughts that go on during a wedding. You can't put them all into one wedding, naturally. And especially not a wedding at Grover's Corners, where weddings are mighty short and plain. In this play, I take the part of the minister, which gives me the right to say a few things more. Yes, for a while now, the play gets pretty serious. You see, some churches say that marriage is a sacrament. I don't quite know what that means, but I can guess. It's like Miss Gibbs said a few minutes ago. People are supposed to live 2 by 2. This is a good wedding. The people are pretty young, but they come from a good state, and they choose right. The real hero of the scene isn't on the stage at all. And you all know who that is. It's like what one of those European fellas said. Every time a child is born, it's nature's attempt to make a perfect human being. Well, we've seen nature pushing and contriving for some time now. We all know she's interested in quantity, but I think she's interested in quality too. Perhaps she's trying to make another good governor for New Hampshire. That's what Emily hopes. And you can't forget about the other witnesses at this wedding. The ancestors. Millions of them. Most of them set out to live 2 by 2. Millions of them. Well, I guess that's the end of my sermon. It won't very long anyways.
me crying. I suppose there's nothing to cry about. This morning at breakfast, it came over me. There was Emily sitting at my table as she's done for 17 years. And she's going out of my house. I suppose that's it. And Emily, she suddenly said, I can't eat another mouthful. And she put her head on the table and she cried.
Oh, you know, I've got to say, there's something downright cruel about sending girls out to marriages like that. It's cruel. I know, I just couldn't get myself to say anything. I went into it as blind as a bat myself. The whole world's wrong.
That's what's the matter.
Here they come.
Hey, George! Yeah! Yeah! Come on, George, hurry up! Oh, George! Come on, George, why you look so scared? Come on, hurry up, Georgie!
Hey, why you look so innocent, you old geezer? We know what you're thinking.
Oh, come on, George, don't be so innocent, big boy.
Right, you old geezer?
All right, that'll do. That is enough of that.
Whoa! Yeah!
There used to be a lot of that in the old days. Roman later. We're more civilized now. So they say.
George? George, what's wrong?
No, I don't want to roll. Why is everyone pushing me so?
George, you wanted this.
No, listen, Ma.
No, George. You're a man now.
No, Ma, listen to me, please. For the last time, all I'm asking, all I want to do is be a fella.
George, if anyone should hear you. Now stop it. I am ashamed of you.
Where's Emily?
Oh, George. You gave me such a turn.
Come on, Ma, we gotta get ready for this.
Could you just let me catch my breath a minute?
Now, you save Thursday nights. Emily and I are coming over for dinner every Thursday night. You'll see. Oh, you look all funny. What are you crying for? We're getting married.
Never felt so alone in my whole life.
George over there.
I hate him. I wish I were dead.
Oh, Papa.
Emily, now don't get upset.
But Papa, darling, I don't want to get married.
Emily, everything is fine.
But Papa, why can't I just stay for a while just as I am? Let's go away.
No, Emily. Stop and think for a minute.
But Papa, don't you remember what you used to tell me all the time? That I was your girl. That there must be lots of places we can go. I can work for you. I can keep house.
Emily, you're just nervous. George, you come here a minute. You're marrying the finest young fellow in the world. George is a fine fellow.
But Papa.
I'm giving away my daughter, George. Do you think you can take care of her?
Mr. Webb, I want to. I want to try. Emily, I'm going to do my best. I love you, Emily. I need you.
If you love me, then help me. All I want is for someone to love me.
I will, Emily. Emily, I'll try.
And I mean forever. Do you hear me? Forever and ever.
Well, they'll be waiting for us. Everything's going to be fine.
Do you, George, take this woman, Emily?
Perfectly lovely wedding. Loveliest wedding I ever saw. Oh, I do love a good wedding. Don't you? Doesn't she make a lovely bride?
I do.
Do you, Emily, take this boy, George?
lovely.
I do.
You may kiss the bride. I've married 200 couples in my day. Do I believe in it? I don't know. I suppose I do. M marries N. Millions of them. Cottage, go-kart, Sunday afternoon drive in the Ford, the first rheumatism, grandchildren, the second rheumatism, the deathbed, the reading of the will. One time in 1,000. It's interesting.
Aren't they a lovely couple? Oh, I've never been to such a nice wedding before. I'm sure they'll be happy. I always say, happiness, that's the great thing. The important thing is being happy.
That's all the second act, folks. 10-minute intermission. This time, 9 years have gone by, friends. Summer, 1913. Gradual changes in Grover's Corners. Horses are getting rarer. Farmers pulling up at the town now in Fords. Everybody locks their doors now at night. Ain't been no burglars in town yet, but everybody's heard about them. You'd be surprised, though. On the whole, things don't change much around here. This is certainly an important part of Grover's Corners. It's on a hilltop, a windy hilltop. Lots of sky, lots of clouds. Often, lots of sun and moon and stars. You come up here on a fine afternoon and you can see range on range of hills. Awful blue they are, up here by Lake Sunapee and Lake Winnipesaukee. And if you go way up, you can see the White Mountains, Mount Washington, where North Conway and Conway is. And all around it lie these towns, around our favorite mountain, Mount Monadnock. There's Jaffrey and North Jaffrey, and Peterborough, Dublin, and there, quite a ways down, is Grover's Corners. Yes, beautiful spot up here. Mountain laurel and lilacs. I often wonder why people want to bury themselves in Woodlawn in Brooklyn when they might pass the same time up here in New Hampshire. Over here are the Old Stones, 1660 to 1670. strong-minded people that came a long ways to be independent. Some people walk around here laughing at the funny words on the tombstones. It don't do any harm. And genealogists come up from Boston, paid by city folk for looking up their ancestors. They want to make sure they're the daughters of the American Revolution and of the Mayflower. Well, I guess that don't do any harm either. Over here are some Civil War veterans.